mind's blown.
Hello, everybody. Oh, gotta fix the faces. Here we go. That's a little bit better. Welcome.
Yeah, that's a little bit better.
Saturday's Cup of Joe. We got Mr. Joseph Stepke. Hang on a second. I gotta move this because otherwise we can't see who you are. You need to do that, right?
Yeah.
We got
finance guy.
Joe Stepke, my partner in crime, aka Joe the Finance Guy. We got Jason Rick joining us today, and he got the memo for the hats. So good to see that. Is that a Nebraska?
Sorry.
Is that what
Sorry.
that is?
Sorry, I'll get one. Sorry. Sorry, I apologize. I didn't know it was going to be a hat day.
He's got the he's got the fedora. This is where this is where the logo. This is where the logo comes from, y'all.
I just feel like he just got one upped on this, you know.
Well, it happens, but
well, I could have done I think I still got the winter cap down here too, so I could have went that route too. But
I usually do the beanie. I didn't put the beanie on today, so.
Or I could have even went. Hold on a minute. See, look at you got me going.
I'm getting you some exercise, buddy. All right. While he's doing that, Jason Ricks is joining us. Why? Because I feel like Jason is a brother from another mother. He's the okay, I almost messed this up. Director of Operations. I was about to say COO for some reason, but I knew that wasn't right. So he's the chief. No, excuse me. Director of Operations for Buc-ee's. But you've got some news, so we could get into that too. But I interviewed him on a show. I don't know. It was about a month ago. It was my industry interviews by Ira show, and I call that I to the third. And we had a great time. So we've become closer networking since then, which is fun. In full disclosure, he invited me to be on his show. He also goes live. He's invited me to be on his show Wednesday. So it's Wednesday, 3 o'clock your time or my time?
Yeah, 3 o'clock Central Time.
Central Time. Okay, so that's going to be 1 o'clock here in California. So I look forward to being on your show. But we thought, hey, let's have you on as a guest. Joe and I have never had a guest. You're our first guest on this show.
I feel honored. You know, you were talking about this brother from another mother, and it's so weird because when you're live and I jump in, I just feel like we're speaking, like you're saying exactly what I'm thinking. And as we've gotten to know each other better and better over the last month or so, it's really cool that someone who grew up in a totally different place in a totally different way, and I see the world in such a similar way. So I'm like, Joe, I appreciate you allowing me to be here too, and you and Ira have me on the show.
Oh, I think it's great. For myself, I think we should have more guests. I want Tasia Valencia on here.
Oh,
or did I say that right? Did I say her name right?
Yeah, no, you said it right. I think what she would do is class up the joint, though.
I don't care. Do you see the background? It does not matter. Like she's the comic book geek would come out. So
is it Silver Fox, Silver Wolf, Silver something? I don't know.
What are you talking about? The voice that she portrayed?
Yeah, one of them. One of the voices.
One of them was Poison Ivy from Batman.
Arkham. Yeah, but what was the silver one? Is it Silver Fox, Silver Wolf? I don't know.
I think that one is from.
What the heck?
I don't want to say because I'll be wrong, and I don't want to.
I have not played a video game in 2021.
Wow.
Oh wow!
You know what I'm saying?
Wow! Really? 2021? We're only 2 months. I mean, that's. Wait a minute.
I can't say 2020.
You haven't played your like Candy Crush thing or whatever.
Let's not talk about that.
No. Wait a minute. We went back. We did an article on this video games, so that counts.
Right. In full disclosure, then the two games that I play right now, I play Water Sort Puzzle and Blockscapes.
Oh, Homescapes. Or is it Blockscapes?
This it's by People Fun. I'm just opening it right now. It's called Blockscapes. It's kind of like Tetris, but you don't get to turn the piece. You know what I mean? You just have to place it wherever it'll fit. And the idea is you have to save room. You're trying to get the lines out just like you're in Tetris, but it doesn't come down and speed up. It's not like that. But you have 3 blocks and you have to place them before you can go to the next. And if you can't place it, then the game's over. So you kind of have to like fit them where you can, but also leave room. You don't know what the next 3 pieces are going to be is the mystery.
Right.
So if you get one that's like 5 long and you only have 4 spaces or less, then you're out and it's a bummer. Anyways. So
all right, I've been waiting for this for
Joe is chomping at the bit.
45. So I want to tell you. So
time out. We need to do something, but check out this new fancy way of doing it.
Oh my gosh.
So go ahead, brother.
That's what I'm talking about. The views of the show are the expressed opinions.
We don't need to say it. We've just said it.
And that's it. We don't even have to.
We just told. Man,
we just told. Thank you very much. And it's actually Rent to Center.
Oh, let me fix that. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'll be right.
Okay,
back.
good. All right. Well, I wanted to let you know. I mean,
it's Rent a Center.
Yeah, Rent a Center.
Do I have to do the hyphens?
Yes, Rent hyphen capital A hyphen Center. And Center hyphen.
That was my rough draft. I thought it was pretty good.
No, it is. It's perfect, except for there we go. All right. Awesome.
All right.
So
let her loose.
Let me tell you. So this week was sort of an emotional week, but yesterday, I've always said no bad news on Friday. And I got that from a friend, and Michael Bennett. I know you're probably going to watch this on replay or something. So no bad news on Friday. And definitely there was no bad news yesterday. But I'm about to go into a call, and we have ASM of the month. Ira, you've heard me talk about it before and everything else. I got ASM of the month. Well, I'm going into a call in 5 minutes at that time, and I start reading it. It was for me, and then I start reading it. Every VP and one of the founders of ASEMA, they put something in the award, like they wrote something about me, and it was just awesome. So I'm like elevated to another level at that time. I'm welling up, because you start reading stuff. I'm a very empath. I've heard I'm an empath, but I'm very I have feelings. You see something nice, I cry at rom-coms. Hey, listen, it's just me. But anyway, so I'm welling up about it. What did you just say?
Yeah. I said you big baby.
I know that's not the word my wife used.
Right. No, I know. I know.
Yeah. See,
I relate to Jen very well.
Yeah. Yes, you do. So then, I got another call right after the other one, and that call, somebody goes like this: "Listen, I wanted to let you know, I know that you're going through this merger or whatever. If you are interested or if anything happens, I know we got a job for you somewhere. I want to hook you up with some. I go like this. Well, I'm good, but I got some other people, around, Indy, if that was the case. No. This was strictly for you. That just made my day that the person, and I hardly talked to this person. Hardly talked. He just wanted to reach out for that. Same thing, 2 hours later, another person. It was just, and then I get on this morning and I find out Ira wrote something about me too. So if I would have had that Ira last night, it would have been too much
thanks
joy.
for ignoring me all day, buddy.
No, I told Greg today, I go, I think I'm dying. He goes, why is that? I go, there was too much joy, too much people honoring me yesterday or too many good things that it was just unreal. But I did a video last night, Ira and Jason. I did a video to say thank you to Asima, and then, like on there. And then I tweaked up the video. I'm going to post it tonight on one of my, for LinkedIn. I'm going to post it and share it as my story. I've never done that before, not a personal one like that. I don't think I have. Besides the YouTube videos, I don't think I've ever done that. Am I right, Ira?
A personal video like that? I don't think so. Yeah.
I don't think so. I usually do not like that. I mean, if I'm going to teach something, but anyways, you'll see me a little bit emotional on that video tonight. But that's the good news that I had. I thought it was just great.
No, I think that's awesome. It's funny because Alicia and I last night were talking about some of the ways that you express your gratitude the most are not about trophies and money. It's with the words that you use to lift somebody up. We're specifically talking about, because one of the challenges in the MLM world is recruiting, people.
Right.
And just to be completely transparent with everybody, most people who join these teams don't end up doing anything. You know what I mean? Like they get caught up in the moment. They're excited about it in that moment. But then, it's a real business. Like you really have to work to you're not just going to sell stuff because you sign up for Avon or Tupperware, Scentsy or Pampered Chef or anything. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, people, there's a proclivity for some people to want to order that stuff, but they have to know you do it. And then you have, usually those people already have somebody that they deal with. So if you're going to earn that business, you have to earn it.
Right.
Well, one of the things that we do, and I say we because Alicia has a mouse in her pocket. I don't do anything. She owns Bowman Digital Media, and she doesn't do anything for me either. You know what I mean? Like, so we joke about that, but she does, and we've seen directors do it. That's where we kind of get the ideas from. People that she's worked with in the past, encouraging like postcards and letters, and just to reach out, email, and some of that stuff. And what you're talking about, let's think about that for a second. You want Area Sales Manager of the Month. That's a huge honor. But you've won that so many times, it almost becomes commonplace. But what you don't get every time, I don't think, I don't remember you ever before, all these accolades. Those accolades, that's what made you emotional, right? That's what made it special. Yeah. So what I was trying to talk about with this last night is sometimes you can do stuff for people. Like the post yesterday that I did for you, like I didn't reach out to you and say, "Hey, Joe, I'm gonna make you the."
Well, you could have at least said something.
But I don't. I don't.
Yeah.
I tagged the people, and then I let it go.
You tag them. Yeah. You're the guy that you and I talk about. We'll never see those notifications all the time. It would have been.
I'm sorry, Joe. You didn't notice the comments, but you got it. You got it.
I got it today, and it was like I was welled up too, and I just I was wondering.
So that's a lot of people don't get that. You know what I mean? They don't get that. So like Jason, one of the reasons why Jason's even on this show is because Jason employs that technique already well. That's where I feel such a kindredness to him. So to tie it all together. So Jason, you're due Smile Fridays. Friday Smiles.
No, so I do I do a thing almost every day. I do a smile files. So most of those are people that work for me, and I tell their story or something great about them. And then I do take off Fridays. So there's two different things. So on Fridays, I always take a moment to say thank you to everyone who's been part of my LinkedIn journey for the week. And usually I'll shout out two or three individual people that did something special. So those are what I do. What I did want to say is I kind of want to piggyback on what you were talking about here because I have something really special I want to give Joe here. So, one of the things when I first found out that we were selling the company, I was devastated because I put my heart and soul into this for the last 4 years. And to our owner will tell you that I transformed the company. So it's become, even though he owns it, it's become my baby, and I'm his right hand guy. So that's why Ira kind of gets confused. My title's director of operations, but I really function more on a COO basis. But someone who's really close to me, my executive coach. Uh, Told me something, and she said, when you are a giving person and you give back to the universe time and time again with no preclusion of expecting anything back, what happens is in time the universe shows up in a big way and gives back to you, and usually it catches you off guard because you're not expecting anything, and it all just conspires together and comes together in a very special way that you don't even understand how it happened. And I think you're on the cutting edge of that happening. And all I would tell you is just it's when it happens, because it happened to me. So when we announced the sale, I announced that on LinkedIn, and I started getting all this just massive messaging of support and love from everyone else about my journey and that if they could help. And it was overwhelming. And what I would just tell you is that what I learned from that experience was to don't take away other people's joy to pour back into you, and to enjoy the ride and for what it is, and that love exists for you, because you probably didn't realize it was to that point, but you are affecting people. You're affecting people right now. We're sitting here on a Saturday morning, and somebody may watch this in perpetuity, right? And this may just find somebody at the perfect moment that needs encouragement that things are going to be okay. And so that would be the only thing I would add.
And
I think
that
it's
is
spot
awesome.
On. Yeah, it's spot on.
And I believe the more good, and I see you put it on there too, but the more good you put into the universe, it's going to come back. Same thing with you. The more, and this was from Anthony Robbins, the more good you put in yourself, the more like self-help books or whatever, the more you read, sooner or later, good stuff just starts pouring out, and you just don't even, it just comes out naturally.
We all have heard this expression, you are what you eat, right? We just assume that's digesting food, but
so the glazed donut that
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry. No, is that what you were trying to go at? Listen, why do you want to shame me on TV? No, I'm kidding.
It's what I do. But also that goes to the same can be said for what you read, what you watch, True. What you listen to.
Right.
I turned off the television, I don't know, 4 years ago, something like that. And I started doing something completely different with my time. And what happened? Almost immediately, I launched my own website, Project Help You Grow, and started helping people find jobs for free. Who does that? And I've done it for 3 years. It's that time that I was eating garbage, just sitting there watching TV, doing nothing, could have been used to do something productive. But now also I read a lot of books, which 4 years ago, I wasn't reading anything.
Right.
I just wasn't, because I didn't have the time. I was working a lot, and then I had my TV time, and that was kind of like garbage in.
Right.
So when you think about a holistic approach to life, giving to others as opposed to expecting to, serve yourself, and then taking care of your body and your mind and your attitude by not consuming nothing but snack food. You know what I mean? Like, I got to be careful here because I do like to eat. We talked about this on the show last night. You know what I mean? I never met a carb I didn't like. So I'm not trying to be a hypocrite here. I'm just saying, if we're more conscious about what we consume, especially, in those non-traditional ways of consumption, with our eyes, our ears, and our heart, honestly, because Sarah was talking about it. So we were on Clubhouse before. the show like we do every week now. We get on an hour before the show starts, and we have a green room. We call it a green room. We could talk about anything on that show except for whatever we're going to talk about on this show, because I won't let Joe spill the story, so we have something to talk about. But one of the things that we were talking about with the Clubhouse, we were talking about oh, I just lost it. Oh my goodness.
I'm actually trying to get our live back up. I posted my stuff on, never mind, sorry. I did a post on our LinkedIn live thing, and I was trying to put it back up because anyways, I'm bad at it. Go ahead.
I had a place I was going and then I missed it. But anyways, here's the bottom line, right? The bottom line is, if you are more conscientious with what you do and you're a giver as opposed to a taker, you know, the world calls it a couple different things. I think most people would commonly refer to this as karma.
Correct.
The Bible teaches it, and that's what I believe. It's, you know, you reap what you sow. But then other people express it just like what Jason said. You know, they'll say the universe. And I don't really care how you say it. I think most of us would agree that that is generally true. Now, it doesn't mean the person that you're going to help directly is going to be in a position ever to help you back. In fact, I think if you're helping people with the expectation of being helped in return, that's just a business transaction. You can call that whatever you want, but that's a transactional deal.
Right.
If I give with the expectation of getting, then I'm not really giving. I'm
correct.
You know, I'm making I might be making a payment. Quid pro quo is a way to say that, or you can express it however you want. But if I'm writing a post about Joe Stepke because Joe Stepke's gonna, you know, pay me $100 or whatever for a post, that's not me being nice. That's me, you know, that's a business transaction. But yesterday's post, to my point, why I don't reach out and tell people, it's like, it's not, I'm not doing it for the accolades. I'm not doing it, you know, so that you can feel indebted to me, or, you know, I just want to express something about somebody that I admire. And so I don't try to make a big deal out of it. I just do it. Now, every week, just so you guys know, on Friday, I do a post like that. It's called Follow You Friday. I never tell the person ahead of time, hey, I picked you. So, you know, it's always, it's a surprise. It's like a gift.
You didn't have to tell me ahead of time. Just, hey, did you see my post from today? I'd have taken that.
See, I just assume that you, as my friend, are checking my posts.
Oh my gosh. You know how busy I can get at times. And you know Friday is that day. Oh, yeah, thank you, Ira.
Love you, buddy.
Batman's always, I'm already at 17.
Batman is always a little bit behind Superman. We all know. It's okay.
Yeah. Yes, he is.
Jason, you're our first guest. Help us.
Yeah.
Batman and Superman get in the fight. Who's gonna win that fight?
I think Batman's gonna win this one.
Oh my goodness! And
I told you
why.
Well, he's got his tool belt, and here's the deal. And if you get him in a bad spot, Robin's going to jump off of the freaking top rope on the back of Superman and distract him, and then it's over. It's at that point he's getting put in the back cuffs.
All right. Well, that just goes to show you that being in the majority doesn't make you right. I'm going to ask every single guest that comes on the show that question, and I'll tell you, if you answer it right, you might actually get a second invitation to come back. If you get it wrong,
don't worry. You got the invitation. You're good. You answered it right.
I don't even understand how anybody with a brain can think that way. Superpowers versus money. That's what we're talking about, really.
It from time and just because with and not to quote a different universe, which would be Marvel, but with great power comes great responsibility. And just because he has great power does not mean he's going to be able to go.
Hey, is that Transform? Is that Optimus Prime?
Oh God.
Is that who said that?
No, it was Uncle Ben that said that to Peter Parker.
Oh, that's Spider-Man. I got that.
Yeah, sorry, Spider-Man. Right.
I got that though. Hey, are you proud of me? Be proud of me.
What? That I said Peter Parker, and then you said, "Oh, that's Spider-Man."
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm proud of you. I'm elated. You have 8 children. You should have known who Spider-Man is.
I did.
I know, but the Uncle Ben one, if I would have said Uncle Ben said that.
I was thinking rice. And I bet you Jason sells that rice on his shelf.
We don't sell Uncle Ben's in the convenience store world, but I'm very familiar with Uncle Ben.
All right. Well, he likes to eat. That's the one thing we can all agree on. We like to eat.
Oh, I do. But after, I mean, I'm telling you something. The older you get, you got to start making choices.
No, you do. You do.
On what's right, what you should eat, what
How
you
much
shouldn't
of it?
eat. Yeah, how much of it.
So
And
that's really, for me, that's the thing I've been trying to do more recently, is not change what I'm eating. Because actually, I did an evaluation of my intake. My intake actually is not too bad. Like what I'm choosing to eat, I could make some better choices. Let's be honest, but you know, what I mean, I do comfort food, but I'm eating less of it. So like my 16-year-old now eats thirds, and I'm like barely eating my first. But I do notice since I've made the change a few months back, I get full faster, which I appreciate. So I'm a cheaper date than I used to be, is what I'm trying to say there, I guess. Anyways,
see,
Jason,
I got to get back to that. But
yeah,
Jason,
favorite food. What's your favorite food to consume?
Oh man, you know, right now, the last year or so, it's got to be a hibachi. There's a nice little hibachi shop, and I just they make the fried rice there, you know, and
and
I've
that
tried
sauce.
yes,
and
the yum yum sauce, right? And so like I've tried everything I can at home. I've tried packets, I've tried recipes. I just can't duplicate it. It just makes me so mad because if I can figure out how to make the fried rice, then it probably wouldn't be as big of a deal, right? But
My wife is getting there. My wife makes fried rice all the time for us now. She's it's not the same. It's just not. But it's pretty good.
they joke with me when we go and eat it there that they put the Japanese Dr. Pepper in there, and I'm starting to believe maybe they really do. I don't know. They won't tell you what it is.
Yeah. Well, everybody's got their secrets, right? All right. So Joe, is it Italian? Huh?
No, what my favorite food is.
Yeah. Favorite type of food. Let's say it this
anything.
way.
Sorry. I answered that wrong.
Anything with chocolate.
All of it.
Yeah.
I don't have.
You don't have one that, like.
No, because I'll get in. This is the bad thing about.
Do you like buffets? Are you good? Like if you're in Vegas, would you rather go to a buffet?
Would I rather? It just depends what my mind is in the mood for. I like if I'm at home. I'll give you an example. We have a Portillo. This is why COVID sucks, and not just because people getting sick. It's because people staying inside and being able to go Grubhub. They'll go anywhere and do that because it depends on the mood I'm in. If I'm on that thing and I see, you know what? It's nice to get a nice beef sandwich from Portillo's. It's a Chicago type restaurant, Portillo's. I love that stuff. You know what? I'd love to get a Chicago style pizza from Giordano's. I'll just go on here. It depends the mood I'm in. Hey, you like that? Is that good? Yeah, I guess you're just passing that up. All right, good.
I was on it. So, hey, if you spam my comments, I'll block you from the show. Hey, what about Wonder Woman? I think Wonder Woman. I think this was.
You're right.
But I think this was in reference to the Robin comment. I think she was saying that Wonder Woman would tag team and help Superman out. Yeah, take that.
Hey Joe, I'm curious to know. So, congratulations again on this award that you won.
Okay.
And Ira kind of touched on it that you've won this award numerous times. As somebody who kind of obviously we have 94 locations at Buc-ee's, and someone that understands kind of setting a vision, or you will, for a broader scope of stores. Can you share, like, I'm genuinely curious, like, what is your vision, or what is it that you think you do to get your stores or your group of people to achieve those great results? Because obviously behind any great area sales manager is a team that's dynamo, right?
Well, yes, and let me explain that a little bit. An area sales manager for myself, Jason, is I I have a team, but it's not what you think. I sign up retailers, so I'm more of a servant leader.
He's an individual producer. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the
So
sales world,
an individual producer. I used to be the assistant VP at Aaron Sales and Lease. Michael Bennett, who I talked about before, he was the VP. I was a senior regional. I've done all that, and I was a leader to other people. I don't even want to say I managed, because I was really big on John Maxwell 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. But going back to your question, well, how people do things for people. There are a bunch of finance companies out there. There's a bunch of LTO options out there. The reason why people use Joe the finance guy is just that, because I continuously talk to them. They know if they call me, I'll answer the phone just like that day or night. And if I don't answer, they just text me and I'll get it. Especially now with this Apple Watch, I'll get the text right to here. So if my phone is off and it's in the back cave, it's coming here anyways, and then I'll be able to talk to them. I think
does that buzz you? Does it shake?
Yeah, it shakes.
Oh, I'm gonna text the hell out of you at about midnight.
You can. It goes on silent mode after 11.
Oh, so I need to do it at 10:59?
Yeah, 10:59 your time. Please do. So anyways, you understand. Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, you got that one. So anyways, I believe in being transparent with people, talking to them. And when they get to know you, they really want to do business with you. I could tell you right now, so many retailers that, there was, during this whole thing, let's say the last 30 days, there's been other retailers coming into Indiana, or other LTO options coming into Indiana, trying to
supplement,
have them switch over. Yeah. Hey, don't use them, use us. They were talking about the merger, how everything was going bad and everything else, untrue stuff, but trying to switch them over. And my merchants, they still stayed loyal.
I feel the need to just put this back up for just a second. I don't know why.
Okay, well, that's all right. That is good, and nobody get upset. But and I also think on the other side, because it was shared to me from Rob Christensen, who he was the CEO of Acima before the merger. And one of the things he said in there was, what separates me from a lot is that I go out and I'll help people. I'll help the other area sales managers. If somebody calls me up, if they want to talk to me and they really ask me a question, hang on for the ride, because it's not going to be a quick call at sometimes, because I want to give them the logic. I want them to walk through it with me to go, hey, listen, I'm going to give you from A, B to C. And it could be a long conversation, but the ones that stay on, they hang on, guess what happens? They succeed. And it's hashtag let Joe talk. Done it a lot today, but it is, it is awesome. I'll tell you. Thanks, Ira.
You're welcome. Man, I love messing with you. Why do I love messing with you so much? I don't know.
I have no idea. But I will, the email that they sent me, there was one in there that that one of the guys put in there that he said, from, if a retailer told me they were doing like a family friends event or something like that, I'd be the guy to come over there and help cook hot dogs on the grill. And it just, there were so many just great things in there. And
but that's all true. See, the thing is that the difference, whether they're your stores or not, you treat them like partners. And so,
correct.
No,
again, it goes back to what we were talking about in Clubhouse a little bit before the show, where it's when you show up and you do right by other people. And, we talked about this a little earlier. It's a reciprocal thing. And, I'm so happy for you.
That means a lot, Jason.
I love to see people winning, because, to Ira's point about the news and everything, I've gotten to where I don't watch the news at all. And the reason is because I found my mind going to more of a negative place.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the I do smile files. That's why I do the weekend spotlights. That's why I do all the things. It's because in my mind, if you want to go find negativity, you don't have to look very far in our world today, right? It's loaded.
No.
So I just choose to say, I'm not going to be a part of that. I'm going to be part of positive things, whether it be doing this show with you guys, doing my own show, doing posts that lift up other people. But I think that there's a revolution coming, and that the people who live in a very positive way to positively affect other people, I just really feel that there's going to come a time very soon where it's going to be a groundswell, just because I think the world's ready for it.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because I hear this all the time, the negativity of social media, and like it's all disgusting, or it's all, arguing or whatever. And it's like, no, I know that it's out there, but you are in essence in social media what you put out, because likes attract likes. So in my network, it's
winners,
very
winners.
positive.
Yeah, winners hang out with winners.
Yeah, so
how I used to do it.
I have a bunch of people. Now they're not all as awesome as you two, right?
Thank you very much.
There is cream of the crop. You're welcome, Elvis. But I don't like if somebody in my network is being a jerk all the time, I just cut them out. I'm just gonna be honest. Like I don't have time I'm not in junior high. So if you're a hater, if you have nothing but drama in your life. Like, I understand we're all at different points, and so we all go through rough patches, and you need a friend and you need some help. I'm good with that. But like, if you're just trying to start stuff, and you won't hang out in my world too long. And for those of you who've seen nothing but nasty, you're probably not watching the show, because I don't do any of that stuff. I don't use perverse language. I don't talk about perverse things. I'm not here slamming anybody, even when people do wrong by me. And I've had plenty of people do wrong by me. I'm not out there with a vendetta trying to chop them. And why? Because what we were talking about earlier, Jason and Joe, with the, I call it you reap what you sow. Again, you guys call it putting out with the universe or karma or whatever, however you want to express that. But, the Bible teaches very clearly you reap what you sow. So I'm trying to reap good things. I need to sow good things. I need to put out good things consistently, and then, of course, also having a spirit of forgiveness when people do reach out and say, hey, you know what, I made a mistake. Sorry, Ira, I didn't see your post yesterday. It's okay, Joe, I forgive you.
That is something I need to be better at, because I'm more I need to be more forgiving at times, but I think it's more with the family, and that's something else.
Hey, personal growth. None of us are perfect, right? I mean, we're all getting better. If you came at me 4 years ago, again, I told you guys earlier in the show that I changed what I was watching. And to your point, Jason, I've also changed what I listened, because I read a book. It's called Every Man's Battle. I read this book, and at the time I read it the first time, it got me, but it didn't quite get me. I was in a different place. I was in a really bad place. And in full disclosure, my wife and I were on the verge of divorce. So I was in a really dark, bad place. I read the book. It really helped me. It got me back into my Bible, and I started going to church and being all in, if that makes sense, right? So then a few years ago, about 4 years ago, I read it again. And because the transition, the journey, the growth journey had already started, when I read it the second time, I was able to receive a lot more out of it. And so that's where I started tuning into, instead of country music, I started listening to K-Love. I turned off. I love Rush Limbaugh. I know we don't want to go politics here, but I loved Rush Limbaugh. I listened to him all the time. But I turned off all the other stuff because I didn't want to be negative. The news, I grew up watching the news. I think we all did, right? We watched the world news, and then the local news, and then the world news again, or the local news, the world news, and the local news, depending on where you were at. Used to consume CNN and Fox News all the time, just to get, some different perspectives, but a lot of negativity. So I turned it all off, and I'm so much more happy. And all of that, like I'm saying, I think this is the thing with, you could call it your media, you could call it your social media, but it's really, you are what you eat. I wish more people would think that way. Like if you're if you're hanging out with negative, you're probably putting out negative. And if you,
yeah, but it's winners hang out with winners.
yeah,
And I've always thought that winners hang out with winners. But going to that whole negative, there are people that you can switch like that. Sometimes it does take. I remember, and I Tony Robbins was one of the first self-help gurus, whatever you want to call it, that I listened to. That I loved his stuff. I love personal power, and it just was one of the things that really started me on my career. What is that?
It's long. He's doing some work in Pakistan. Anyways, check it out, guys. It's a good post. He's doing evangelistic things. I love it.
So when man, that just threw me off.
You're talking
Tony
about
Robbins, negative people, right? So
Okay.
if a negative person was like that, I remember he said in there, they did a study with a bunch of clinically depressed people, like they were, it was certified they were depressed.
Yeah.
And they stood in front of a mirror.
They weren't faking it. Yeah.
And they grinned from ear to ear for so many hours. And that got them out of the depression. Now, why is that? Because when negative people attract negative people, I don't know the whys or anything of how, because there's other things involved, but it is true. I've always been glass half full. It's always been me. I can't even tell you I was a realist, because one of my friends, he'll tell you he's a realist. I was always the one half full. He wasn't negative. He just was, he would give the real story.
Yeah.
And I was the one that was like, oh, no, it's going to happen. Great to dream.
But Joe, I think this is one of the things that attracts people to you. Certainly, you and I support each other through the crap. I mean, you were on the phone with me the minute I got furloughed. So, but when you
that's also being an empath too.
Yeah.
I'm using that more now, Ira, than anything. I never thought I was that much of an empath like I was.
Well, that's why you and Alicia click too, because she's that way.
Right. I feel for other people.
Alicia's my wife. Any of you watching who don't know who Alicia is, that's my wife.
Yeah, I believe empathy is a superpower. I really believe that. Anybody that watched the story I shared with Ira would know that if you get to the true heart of why I do what I do and how it started, it's because I refuse to let anybody else that I can have an impact on ever go to a place that I was at 16, 17 years ago. There, horrible divorce. I lost everything, but an air mattress and a TV. I started completely over, bankruptcy, you name it. Everything bad that could happen, bankrupt, no money, no nothing, no job. I mean, it was horrible. And so I try to use my story, and I don't do it in your face. If I don't talk a lot about it. I do when I'm on shows and people ask, but the reason I do what I do, and I do it with my team, I do it with people on LinkedIn. If I can step in and be the bridge and help somebody, I just refuse to stand aside and let somebody, self-destruct or go down without trying to come along and support them. It's just who I am. And so I think when you say empathy is a superpower. I truly believe that.
I do love this. Okay. Like I just shared 10 years ago, my wife and I were in a very different place. I was a very different person. None of you would probably like me, and I didn't really like myself, in full disclosure, either. So, but sometimes people say, well, why does God allow bad things to happen? Or if you don't believe in God, why bad things happen to people who are doing good things? You know what I mean? It's not quid pro quo. You have these scales that seem to be off sometimes. But what you just said, you're doing, Jason, and I've seen you do it. You're lifting other people up. I know that I come alongside people when I hear that they're having marriage troubles, and I try to, I try to get in there and help them if I can, because I believe marriage is precious, and you should try to reconcile if you can, especially if you have kids. It's a good thing. My wife and I did, and we have more kids that were born after, they're younger than 10. You know what I mean? So there's that. So we don't control all the garbage that happens to us. There are things that happen to us just because, it's bad timing or whatever. But what we can control is what we do with it after we are done with it, if that makes sense. The event is over. Now, do you use that as an excuse to, let your life disintegrate, or do you use it as a stepping stone to not only elevate yourself, but as you're doing, and I try to do, lift other people up? And I know Joe does too. So I think that's one of the things, and Joe said this, winners hang out with winners. I know all three of us are doing this. And I think that's one of the things that we respect about each other, even though we probably never verbalized it. But when you have a bad experience, I was homeless as a kid. It was no fault of my own. I was, a kid. Kids don't pay bills, right? It was something that happened to me. But it did happen to me, and I have experience with sleeping on cement in the middle of you know what I mean? Like I tell people all the time, they go, "Oh, being homeless isn't that bad." And so really, here's what I want you to do. Go to your nearest urban center and find a place to just like lay down and sleep, and then try to get a good night's sleep. Try to do that. See how safe you feel and how comfortable you are, and what even you're going to do when you wake up, because there's no toilet. Just think about some of the practicalities. Just try that sometime. Just go do that for a couple days, and then you'll have a whole new appreciation for what homeless people are going through. I promise you, your empathy for homeless will go skyrocket, and especially when you see kids. There's nothing that breaks my heart more than seeing homeless kids anywhere,
right?
Because I live that. It's
Amen,
not
brother.
it is not something that I wish on my worst enemy. So, by enduring those things, it makes us stronger, but it also gives us a heart of compassion or empathy for others who are now going through things that we went through as a person. It could be anywhere along your journey, but it's something that usually you have to be done with. Anyways, I'd like to do this if we can. We've got about 15 more minutes before the show wraps up. I always ask Joe his best thing of the week, his worst, which we already covered that, the biggest challenge of the week, and then what's coming up in the next week that he's looking forward to. So I want to extend that to both of you in the time that we have left. So maybe if you could try to keep your answers
Jason,
to
I'm going to let you go first, Jason. You go.
Yeah, so let's do like a minute. If we could try to keep the answers to like a minute, the timing on that should be good.
Jason, I will yield my time to you. It's all right. If you need more, I'm good.
So this week, obviously, we have 4 stores in Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
It came to a complete grinding halt down there. We were able to stay open and service our communities through the use of generators and a lot of logistical help that I provided from here in Omaha. So that was probably the best thing that happened, and also was the worst thing that happened at the same time. Right? It was very stressful and a lot of angst. I'm not one that deals well with knowing my team is struggling and I can't be there to help them. As we look forward to next week,
hang on. We're gonna do it. We'll do the challenges first. So go ahead, Joe. Your biggest challenge of the week, or biggest headache, maybe dealing with Ira.
Of this past week, or what's coming up?
No. We'll do that in a minute.
This past week, I'd have to say, not knowing the State of the Union, I guess, at first. After talking with the CEO.
Yeah, you're talking about work.
Yeah, with work. I mean, that was the biggest challenge. The other one, the personal side, was when it snowed out there. Oh, and it came into a good thing too. But when it snowed out and we got about a foot here in Noblesville, my wife, I got done doing the post.
For the rest of the world, that's Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, yep. I got done doing my post at 10 o'clock, whatever. It was about 10 o'clock. I went upstairs. My wife was outside shoveling, and she only got one line done. So I was in sweats, t-shirt. I just bundled up, went outside, and she looked at me. She goes, "I don't want you doing this. This is heart attack snow."
Yeah.
And I go, "And heart attack snow, it's wet, heavy, or it's heavy and whatever." And I go, well, what are you doing it for? And she goes like this, well, it has to get done. So I just started doing it. Complaining the whole time, mind you. I complained the whole time. She told me to go in, but I was still complaining, going, why didn't we get the snowblower when I wanted to? Why? We needed the snowblower. I should have gotten it. I should have just pulled the trigger. We shouldn't be out there. So she was complaining because she wasn't feeling good.
We talked about this. We talked about this on Joe the Finance Guy. I put a poll up that said, "What are you buying next?"
Yeah, I did. I think,
and you said snowblower.
Yep, I did. And guess what I did? Oh yeah. Well, her arm was hurting. So after about an hour, we were both sweaty. Took our showers, went to bed, and I'm going like this. You got to watch me because if I have a heart attack, you got to know. She goes, "Watch you. You got to watch me." So we're both doing it. Woke up the next morning. I actually called one of my retailers, and I went over to see him, and I bought a snowblower, and used it.
I want a video of that, Joe.
Okay, well, I'll do a video because it's supposed to snow again. I think tomorrow night.
We can brand Joe the Finance Guy blowing snow or something.
Right. Well, it was a learning. If you haven't used one before, you don't start like you would with
one.
You don't start like you would with a shovel. Like at a shovel, you start at the side and you just keep going. Well, that's not what you do. You want to start because the snow, you got to look where the wind is going, for one, and then you blow the snow towards wherever the wind is going.
Yeah, go with the wind.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a couple of good tries, with Joe Stepke. He did it, but once I got the hang of it, I did it. I loved it. I was going around. I did the sidewalk. I helped other neighbors with their sidewalks. I was like, yeah. If you're in the
Indianapolis area on the weekends and after hours, call Joe the Finance Guy for
all your snow blowing needs.
He works relatively cheap.
Yep, I sure do. Well, and that was another thing. I told my son, I go like this, my God, you can make $50 a driveway or something like that by just using the snowblower.
Yeah.
Help me get this paid for. I mean, I bought it out.
I don't know who that is, but somebody thought that was funny. So there you go.
I could check, but
yeah,
it's Petrus O'Brien.
For me, my biggest challenge of the week obviously was getting stranded in the middle of California with my family. So we endured, but the van broke down. So for those of you who don't know, we're up here in the Bay Area right now. We live in the greater Los Angeles area. If you're familiar with LA, we live in the Inland Empire. So anyways, we're driving up Highway 5. We stopped for lunch. We restart the car after lunch, and everything was fine. We're getting on the freeway, and it just basically becomes non-responsive to the throttle, and the clutch, the fourth gear clutch, had gone out basically. So now the transmission's needing to be replaced in the clutches. So a lot of fun. I need to make an extra $6,000 to make up for that. So if you need a website built, bowmandigitalmedia.com. We're here to help you. So that's my biggest challenge of the week.
What about getting another car?
I'm sorry?
What about getting another truck?
Yeah, well, those are $50,000. So I mean, I could.
Well, I'm thinking, but the payment wise, maybe that would be easier in the long run. I don't
really do payments. I own my vehicles, so.
And I can't say anything. I got the same thing. So
I'm an interesting cat that way. Anyways, that was my biggest challenge of the week. Okay, let's do biggest victory or best thing of the week. And Joe, you've already gone. So
yeah, I've already gone.
We know. But Jason, what was the biggest triumph for you?
Coming
on the show. Oh, sorry. Good job. All right, way to go, Jason.
I'm doing it right now. It's been awesome.
This week I was kind of looking at, so each week I kind of look at, how things went. So this week, I don't get too wrapped up in statistics on LinkedIn, but this week, I had double the amount of new connections that I've had the last 3 weeks. I've been averaging about 100. So this week was about 200. And then the comments, the number of comments, also saw a huge jump. So like I said, I don't get too wrapped up in that. I'm trying to be consistent with what I'm doing, but I do look at it just to see that I'm making the impact that I want to make. So If anybody out there's watching, like Bonnie's been, you introduced me to Bonnie, actually, Ira. I think on a Cup of Joe section, actually, several weeks ago
You
when
know
I was.
what it was? It was on our interview. If you go back and watch that interview,
That's when that happened.
she was in the comments, and I said, "Hey, you need to meet her." And I even pulled up her website on our interview, which is funny. But anyways, that's that.
Yeah, we connected this week via Zoom, and she showed me the product, and man, she's a genius. I mean, she's a truly a pine. I mean, I really believe that that's going to revolutionize the space.
I do too. Like I said, that's when I saw her in the comments, and I know what you do. I'm like, this is a match made in heaven right here. I don't usually let people in the audience control what it is that I'm going to talk about or do. Joe will tell you, like, I got a mind of my own. I'll do what I want. But in that case, it was just like, I know Bonnie and I know you, and I know, like, I just thought it was a good thing. I had to get you guys connected. So I'm glad that you all are. I am glad that you all are doing all that. Yeah, it was a live show. Yeah, the industry interviews by Ira is not a regularly scheduled show like the other three that I do. I only do it when I have the right, I hate to say the right caliber professional, but that's really what it is. It's usually directors or C-level folks that I'm talking to that I think my audience would be interested in it. And then I post those for prosperity on my website at bowmandigitalmedia.com. So anyways, that's why I did it. But anyway, sorry, I kind of interrupted. So you were talking about, the metrics and the growth.
Yeah, so it was just a really good week, and like the momentum continues to build, and I finished reading a gosh, it's called Shoe Dog, I think is the name of it. It was written by Phil Knight, the founder of Nike. I finished reading that book this week, so it was just it's just another great week. Even though we had those struggles down in Houston, just another positive week of having positive impact. And so when I get to the end of the week and know I made a difference, and that really gets me jazzed. So thanks for letting me share that.
Yeah, no, it's my pleasure. Joe, awesome. Anything else you want to share? I mean, Joe, for those of you who didn't catch the beginning of our show, if you're joining us late, Joe won Area Sales Manager of the Month again. He dominates that market. He should get it every month, but they don't do it by sales numbers. Obviously, they have some other.
Well, there are some criterias, and they really, I mean, there's some. Yes, my numbers are off the chizzy.
Yeah,
I was trying to be like, yo. I was trying to, I'm jiggy. I'm jiggy with it.
That's what we do.
Yeah, I'm jiggy with it. I'm down with the 911 or
I'm hip
411, something like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, yes, I got that. But I do have something else.
Yeah,
because Jason reminded me, and I've never had this before. You wanted me to start tracking, like, I wonder how many followers and everything I'm getting. And I in a week's time, I got 800 followers.
There you go.
Huge.
And that's over 100. That's over 100 a day. So that's good.
Yep. I've never had that before. And it was like, wow. Which is awesome. And then Joe, the finance guy, I believe is only, if I'm right, Ira, it's only like 15 away from getting 1,500.
Yeah.
Being 1,500. So
if you're watching the show right now and you're not following Joe the Finance Guy's business page, we would really appreciate it if you would do that for us. It's
10 away. 10 away.
Yeah.
10 away for
get it done today.
Yeah, we're building that thing up, which is a lot of fun. But no, it's all good. I'm gonna tell you guys, like, I don't get hung up in growth rates per se, but I do look at it this way, and this is, I think, a healthy way for any of you who are watching. And I don't care. Growth is good. I'm going for growth right now, really on Instagram and YouTube. I've been focusing on it all year, and I'm excited. I mean, my numbers on those websites or platforms are much smaller, but I have over 7,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I have over 10,000 followers on Instagram. And 4 months ago, my numbers were a lot smaller. So, what we should do, in my opinion, is we should not necessarily get hung up on the exact numbers or percentages, but just gauge them, like know what your growth rates are. So if your
Right.
growth rate is 100 a week or 100 a day, whatever it is, 1,000 a day, know what your normal averages are. And then you can kind of let those be a barometer for you. Like, okay, well, they're resonating with what I'm doing because the growth rate has accelerated, or they're not resonating with what we're doing because the numbers are down. So in full disclosure, Joe Stepke and I, every week at the end of the show, we stick around a little bit and we look at the views for the show. And why do we do that? It's not about any, we don't get paid by anybody to do the show. I mean, we do it for free. We don't have a corporate sponsor or anything like that we have to answer to. But we like to know, okay, well, what did we talk about? And we'll even dissect the minutes and go, okay, well, at that time, if it's really when we have a spike down. That's where we go. Like,
I've been watching, and so I know when we've had the spike down. We can't let you talk anymore. Jason has to be the new host.
All right. Well, I'll see y'all later.
I'm only kidding.
Jason can go live, so you have the ability to do the Jason and Joe show.
Oh my God! Oh heck no!
Maybe
I need my LinkedIn.
come on as a guest. That would be awesome.
Oh my God! Right when I said that, we just went down a view or two on LinkedIn.
Yeah, it happens.
So,
but anyways, we look at that as a barometer, it's not really to judge our performance. It's just to gauge the interest.
What were we talking about?
That's why I said let's steer away from politics, because the one day we went into the Electoral College and it wasn't even a political thing. It was just explaining how it works, and nobody cares. So it is what it is.
I said that. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Wait a minute. I was the guy that said, let's steer away from the politics. You know how I am and what I know.
No, I'm talking about today. I'm not talking about.
Oh, I know that. But, today. Yeah, you're right. But when we did that on the electoral thing, how many times did I go, oh.
Yeah,
you knew just from my countenance that I didn't want to talk about this because I just didn't. It didn't bode well.
So, Jason, when you pick your show partners, make sure you pick one who, I don't know.
Exact opposite of you.
It's better at being like in tune with your cues. All right, y'all. Let's do this. We are in overtime, but I want to jump into what you're looking forward to that's coming up. I like to put out more positive than negative. So let's look at something we are looking forward to, the challenges of the week ahead, and then we'll sign off from that after that.
All right.
Yeah. So I would say that for me, what I'm looking forward to this next week is getting some warmth and getting our outside of our businesses kind of cleaned up and back in line of what I like to present for our customers. So I'm looking forward to and enjoying a little bit warmer weather, and sunshine. It's good for the soul and good for my team.
Yep.
Cool. Love it. Mr. Joe?
Well, for myself, I'm going to be doing a couple more videos of me. Yes, of me.
Joe loves him.
I do love myself. I just do. I mean, I think that's a good thing. But I'm going to do more videos of me and I'm going to post more. I'm not like Ira, like posting on Facebook or Instagram. I'm not, or YouTube right now. I'm really focusing on my LinkedIn viewers right now more than anything. But it is. I want to get myself out there more. So I'm looking forward to getting back out there and doing videos with some of my retailers.
Cool.
And you, Ira?
So for me, it's going to be a hard week because I'm going to take off. My family's going to stay behind here, and I'm going to be living not as a bachelor would live. I don't want to say that, but I'm going to be living with me and the bunny down in LA because I can't do everything I need to do here. You notice the background's different, and I don't have. I'm living on one monitor. How do y'all do that? I don't even know.
I don't know, but you're in Alicia's bedroom, aren't you?
So I'm in the old room that was her room, but it's not set up anything like it was. There is no diary here, Joe. Sorry to disappoint. We did talk about that last night.
Yeah, we did.
But I need to get back. I have some things to do. I have a couple websites that I need to build and launch. So I need to work longer than I can work here because my boys are sleeping in this room, So it's like when it's time for them to go to bed, I can't be in here working. So I just got to get back to my routine, and we got to get the car situation taken care of. So anyways, I'm going to rent a car and drive back home. But what I'm looking forward to is I took a course on Thursday. I took a virtual presenters course, and I'm on video. I make videos for a living. I think you guys know that, right? So I do videos, I do photography, I make websites, I do digital media. That's what I do. There were things in this course that were eye-opening, and yeah, I probably could have figured them out another way. But what I liked about the course was it was super simple, and in full disclosure, it only cost me $150, which is nothing. So for $150, I learned these new tricks that I am excited when I get back in my studio to start using. And you will actually see them in all my lives. Anytime I'm on Remo, anytime I'm on Zoom, whenever I'm doing virtual presentations, live presentations, there are things that I'm going to be able to do that I wasn't able to do before I took the course. I'm excited to implement those new tools. So that's coming this week.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. By the way, if any of you are interested in taking that course, you can take the class. It's normally $200, but I have a coupon code, so I can send you the link, and it actually already has the code or the discount built in. So it's like I said, it's $150 if you want to take the course yourself. It's good for like when you're on Zoom or when you're on Teams and things like that. You can make yourself bigger and smaller and add your own title bars, and anyways, lots of cool stuff. So if you're interested, let me know. All right, but that was Saturday's Cup of Joe. We had a special guest, our very first guest, Jason Ricks. Thank you very much for joining us, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
We hope you had a good time. And if y'all are watching and you're not connected with Jason, we recommend that you send him a connection request. He really is a kindred spirit, somewhere between Joe and Ira. He fits in real well. He's a fellow bald brother. Bald is beautiful. So he got the memo on the hat. Joe Stepke was kind of wearing the fedora a little bit.
Oh, I did. I got my Irish or Scottish one.
Oh, there it is. I actually like that one. I like that one the best.
Straight pimping.
I like that one the best, Joe.
I do my best. Straight pimping.
Right. Joe is a well-dressed. Joe really is a well-dressed man. Like
I am. I try to be.
Saturdays is his let loose day, so don't judge him by the way he dresses on our show here. But typically, if you see him when he's dressed up for work, man, he's very sharp. So.
Well, my daughter has a knife competition today, and I'm driving her and her boyfriend down to it in Franklin, Indiana. So.
Did you say a knife?
Knife. Noblesville Indoor Percussion Ensemble.
Oh, they're going to be beating the sticks.
Mm-hmm. She does. She plays cymbals.
You guys may not know this about me, but I was the percussion chair of my high school band for 2 years, and I actually played percussion for 4 years in college too. So I
knew that about you.
I was one of those special people who didn't graduate in 4 years. You know what I mean? Like college was the best 19 years of my life. I graduated. In full disclosure, I graduated college. I got my bachelor's degree 19 years after I graduated high school. I'm that smart. So
you're a wealth full of knowledge.
What I want to say to people about that is don't ever quit chasing your dreams. Like if you started school, what happened, in case you guys don't know the backstory, I'll just tell you real quick. My wife and we got married. I was 23 years old, and I was still trying to go to school, but we wanted to buy a home, and so I couldn't afford a home in California. So we moved to Cincinnati, Ohio, right? So I lived in a little town called Fairfield. If you know where Fairfield is, it's in between Dayton and Cincinnati. Anyways, I lived there, and when I got there, I thought, well, I'll just do a year of no school while I earn my Ohio residency, and then I'll start going to school again. Well, when we did that, we looked at colleges, and it was like $30,000, $40,000 a year. Well, I was used to California subsidized schools. So California state schools, I think I was paying like $3,000, $3,500 a year for tuition. And I started to buy my books and stuff, but the tuition part, just the tuition was, I think, $3,500 a year. So back then, I think I was making 42 grand a year. And I was like, I can't spend $30,000 or $40,000 a year if I'm earning 42, you know what I mean? So there was a long delay, and I regretted it because I was actually already a senior credit wise when we stopped. But it was to buy homes and have a family. So anyways, long story short, I regretted it forever that I didn't finish. And so when online school became more of a common thing and not as expensive, it was still expensive, but it was not as expensive, then I finished my bachelor's degree at that point. So
awesome.
anyways, there you go. There's a little bit of Irish history you may not know. All right. Well, I'm going to tune us out. I think I accidentally cut your video short a little bit in the intro, so I'm going to be more careful this time. But if you're not familiar with how I dance us out, Jason, what I do is I put on our animated videos. If you need one of these things, guys, let me know. I make these for a living, but I'll put on Joe's first, and I need to update it, Joe. I need to get the one with with Debbie doing the voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just the regular voice, not the political take.
Oh no, we didn't. No, I only sent that to you. I didn't.
Okay, all right, good. All right, good.
No, okay. So what Joe's talking about is, our president of the United States is Joe Biden, and we talk about Joe, the finance guy, in my house every day. I mean, Joe, we probably talk about you hourly on some days, right? So my 6-year-old is the official voice right now of JoeTheFinanceGuy.com. She says it in the outro. But when we were doing it, you know how you do blooper reels? She did one. She had a Freudian slip. She goes, Joe Biden, thefinanceguy.com. And I thought, that is super funny. So I wouldn't use it. I wouldn't use it, but I sent it to me. I sent it to Joe so Joe could get a laugh. Anyways.
And it was all I was thinking, though. Please don't put that on there.
Yeah, no, because Joe knows I'll talk about politics. So there you go. Anyways, got to support the president of the United States. But Joe the Finance Guy is Joe the Finance Guy, not Joe Biden.
Right.
Anyway.
Correct.
So I'm going to put that up. Then I'll do the Bowman Digital Media one, and then we'll dance out. So, Jason, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Jason.
I will see you in a minute, and we'll review our numbers and see how we did.
No problem.
Later, y'all.
Later.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. We really appreciate it.